do at least 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio a week. And on top of that, twice a week, go and do some intervals, some VO2 max training, go hard, push yourself, perhaps go in a race. That will improve your VO2 max that much more. That is my advice. I'd also suggest, well, why not get the cookbook, make your life easier to lose weight. We also have GO2 max.
No, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Except the book and the GO2 max thing, those are actually pretty good. But HIIT training improves your carnosine system, your phosphate buffering system, and the expression and availability of MCT1 and MCT4. And those are the things that will help you to keep your muscle lactate in check and push it to your bloodstream. And in your bloodstream, the HIIT training, anyways, blah, blah, improves your ability to handle the pH. So the pH balance doesn't drop too fast, which means you will not feel the lactate so fast. But anyways, let's start why, if you want to increase your health span, it's much more important to stay in low intensity cardio. And actually, I would say not doing HIIT training. You don't even need to probably do it. Also, when you are training high intensity training, it will increase the strength of your heart. But let's go to why high intensity training is not that good, first of all, for long-term endurance, and second of all, for your health. Because when we are talking about health, we are mostly talking how good of a shape your heart is and how good of in shape you are. And when we go beyond 65% of your maximum heart rate, which is like 60 to 65%, and 60% from 200, it's what, 120 only, and 65% is, I don't know, 130 something. That's the point when your heart's volume actually doesn't grow that well anymore, because that's the point where your growth of your heart is at its maximum. And when you go beyond that, your stroke rate will increase so fast, and what's the part? This part, will increase even more. So the heart doesn't have the possibility to grow as large anymore. P.S. I want to clarify something here. Of course, I don't mean that after the 65% range, you all of a sudden get no volume gains at all anymore. No, of course not. I just mean that, okay, let's say there is person 1 who is going 60%, person 2 is going 80%. The person A is going to have better gains for their heart's volume. They are going slower, so it seems counterproductive, but it's true. So it's not hard stop, but let's say you get 100% of the gains in 65% range. When you go to 75, it might be 80%. You go to 80%, it might be 60%. I don't know. I'm just throwing up numbers, but I don't mean it's hard stop. That's all I'm saying. After 65% of your maximum heart rate, your actual, volume of your heart doesn't get better that well anymore. And when we are doing zone 2 training, that's not the only one we are bettering. Also, we are making our small blood vessels better, and the amount of mitochondria you have, we will increase that amount. And that will work only to 70 to 75% of your maximum heart rate, which is about 150 if your maximum is 200. And again, when we go past that, for the mitochondria part, we will increase the quality of your mitochondria, not quantity that we want. And if we have two persons, twins, other person is training 4.5 years, only zone 2, 5 times per week, and the last 6 months he takes a couple HIIT trainings with him. And the other person is doing, like Greg said, 3 times per week of zone 2 and 2 times per week of HIIT. it's not even a question. The person 1 will easily have better cardio. That's not even a question. That's easy. And that's because the HIIT training is like the show strength you have. You don't do 1 to 4 rep range training all season. You do it only 4 weeks before you want to peak. 4 to 6 weeks before you want to peak. The same is here. You should not do the high intensity training most of your season because it's not training the parts in your body that actually can grow over the long time. The volume of the heart, it's slow process and it's something you can build over a long time. But the strength part, which comes from the high intensity training, it's very short and it's short gains and you will lose it fast also. So it's something like you can build it between 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, but then it actually doesn't, get better anymore. And that's so yeah. So if, and actually you see a lot of advice that if you don't have a lot time to train each week, you have like 3 20-minute training slots. You should do high intensity training because you have little time. You should do it, use it very well. I would say the opposite. If you have only 3 20-minute training, it's even more important to only do zone 2 training and only be in your correct zone. Because if you can train a lot, if you have 5 workouts per week, then fine, you can do 1 workout of high intensity training. And by the way, professional athletes in the early season, on average, less than 20% of their training is high intensity. On the early season, it's even less than that. It's easily less than 10% of the training is high intensity. And that's mostly because, if you do no high intensity training at all, and then you have competition season coming, you are screwed. So you need to keep it for a little while. But if you are not planning to compete, there is no reason to keep it. And by the way, we end the video, but if you want one person to watch in YouTube, it is Greg Doucette. It's not RP Hypertrophy, it's not Jeff Nippard. If you want only one fitness influencer, it's Greg Doucette. So give him a subscribe and like his videos and blah blah blah, and like my video.